We are live. Everyone, friends, Romans, countrymen, country people, whatever you want to call yourselves today. I've got a guy here who is going to give us the full beans on business, life, and everything else. My friends, I met Steve many years ago. And kept running into him at conferences. I asked him if he was stalking me. He said no, but yet he's here today. Steve is one of those people that I talk to when the chips are down, when I need a strategy, some advice, some love, somebody in my corner, and he is a fantastic coach. Friends, this is Steve Feld. Steve, please tell the people who you are and what you do.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, I'm Biz Coach Steve Feld. I've owned and operated 7 businesses, ran 3 others, and nowadays I help small business owners, coaches, and entrepreneurs crack multiple 6 figures and even 7 figures without burning themselves out. Because you know what? They're struggling. They're trying to do everything themselves. I mean, they're getting divorced over money issues, and they just don't have a sustainable route of income coming in. So that's where we kick in and help them put in the processes and procedures, get them on track, and actually build a long-term sustainable business
without burnout.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Tell me more, Steve. How do you achieve things like that?
Well, after a few businesses, I have already learned and experienced burnout in the hardest forms. So I know what business owners and entrepreneurs are going through. I've been there, done it. I've been in your shoes. And that's why I work with the owner operators, because that's where my passion lies. And I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of seeing small business owners and entrepreneurs fail because they just don't know about business.
Yeah.
They know their craft, their strategy, whatever it is. They can build a better mousetrap. Great. But you don't know about marketing. You don't know about operations. You don't know about your legal entity. You don't know about accounting. But now you have to learn all that, and you're going to burn yourself out.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to learn it all. And you don't need to know it all. And there's people out there, I promise you this, that are smarter than you, and they're going to be in your corner if you ask them.
That's true. That's the truth. Business owners do try to do it all. They fall in love with this idea, and stop me if you've heard this one about 1 billion times, but the legend of the laptop, the legend of some human at a laptop striking it rich with a single thing somewhere, a single post, a challenge, a video, something that goes viral and just strikes it rich, and now they're constantly filming themselves on the beach and then saying you too can have this in 1,756 steps, and I think that legend in itself burns more people out.
Yeah.
They're constantly trying for a goal that isn't even real.
I couldn't agree more. And being a small business owner, entrepreneur, we have a big problem. We have shiny object syndrome. So now someone posts that one post. Hey, download my 10 easy steps to make $1 million by one post. They're jumping on it.
They're jumping on it.
Then they find out that one little guide has to cost them, $1,000, $2,000. And they don't know how to implement it because they're not techies. They're not copywriters. They don't know anything about, meta ads, which is, or Google ads or any of that stuff. And here they are, they're supposed to follow the guide and do it themselves. Well, the person who put out that guide probably failed who knows how many times before. They got lucky this many times.
Yeah.
Put it in a document, and now they're selling it to you.
That's right. And the loophole that they exploited probably doesn't exist anymore.
That's it. I know, I'm not going to say names because this person is very out there in our world of entrepreneurs, if you're out there on the online world, but they have a document that could show you how to get 10,000 new people into your Facebook group. They can. Be prepared not only to buy that document, but to be prepared to spend $2,000 more on it. And you don't have the tech knowledge. You can follow it, but you really don't have the real tech knowledge that they're telling you. So you're going to have to hire them to do that.
Yeah. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's a bait and switch.
Yep.
It's a 10 free easy steps into a $10,000 program. You know what I mean? It's 10 free and easy steps right off a plank, baby. And that does kill people. When I was first entrepreneuring, I too started from a laptop on my couch, didn't even have this fabulous bot cave yet, which is also my second bedroom. Anyway, didn't have, I have enough technical knowledge to be an incredibly dangerous human being.
Oh, I know that.
I can create things that are not supposed to work. I can do lots of things, but that was almost a curse, because then I would go down every shiny little road. And I almost burned myself out.
Been there.
Yeah.
When I wake up and I got 4 programs going on from 4 things I bought into, and I'm like, what am I doing?
I can't even digest information at this rate.
No. And thank God I got a coach. And I talked to them, and they're like, what? They're like, this is the first they heard of it. And they're like, okay, we're ending the madness today. Yeah. You lost the money. Get over it. Move on. Don't go back. End of story. Shut it all down. Delete, delete, delete. And I did that. And I was like, wow, did I feel some pressure just fall off my shoulders?
Yeah. Well, and that's the last thing that people think about, because when you're building a business, you're trying to do it all on your own. And you've got all this other stuff to do anyway, and all this other stuff you probably should learn, but you're not. That business stuff you were talking about earlier. Account what? Anyway, you can get overwhelmed by this misinformation. And, when I say misinformation, and when I say other people are misleading you, there's degrees of misleading. You know what I mean?
Some people are in it for good, but oops. And some people are like, oh.
I know. I've run into those too.
Yeah, me too.
So what's the first rule then? What's the first rule of doing it yourself without burning yourself out?
The number one example I can give is business owners are thinking, well, I got to do all the accounting myself. I hate numbers. I hear this all the time. I hate numbers, but I have to do the accounting. So I'm like, okay, so you're frustrated, you're unknowledgeable. How many hours do you spend on accounting a week? Oh God, I don't know. Okay, let's divide how many hours, your hourly rate, how much it's actually costing you, and the frustration. Now you have ulcers and you got headaches and migraines, you can't sleep. I'd rather you pass that little information over to a bookkeeper who will do it. Takes you 10 hours a week. It'll take them 30 minutes and they love it. And they're going to charge you maybe $25, but it costed you 10 hours, aggravation, frustration, your health, your mental well-being. And if you really add up the numbers, it could be thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So hire someone to do the things you don't love to do. I learned that the hard way, and once I found like, hey, I hate doing this one thing. So I went out and found someone who does it and they love it and they do it 10,000 times better than I'd ever learn how to do it. And they were a rock star. They actually helped me grow my business. Why? They knew that world and I didn't want to know that world.
It's true. It's true. I don't know. I don't want to know what's going on with the accounting. I don't know. That's number stuff. I don't know what's going on with legal. I don't want to know what's going on with all this stuff.
You just want to hear, it's all done. Would you like to look at it? No. And then all of a sudden our eyes automatically start rolling in our head. Like, no, is it done? Beautiful. But you hired the right person to do it.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I love numbers because it's my gig too. So, but do I want to do someone else's accounting? Do I want to do my client's accounting? Never in a million years. But I have a list of great people in different areas who love this stuff and be more than happy to help that business owner and take it off their plate so they can focus on what they should be focusing on,
Yeah.
their business.
We got Heather here. I got stuck in the real estate dream. I thought I'd get rich quick and bought into a program. I know, me too, Heather. But real estate wasn't my thing, and my coach was probably making more money off his program than real estate. Oh shoot!
Boy, is that so true.
And you talk to people, just talk to small business owners. How many of us have done this? Our first jump into the pool, we're spending thousands. And most of the clients I get have actually been burned before.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
I hear all the horror stories. And, I'm in an industry where people are jumping the cubicle and they did one project at work because they were forced to do it by their boss.
Yeah.
And they pulled it off. And now they're like, I know everything about business. I'm going to leave and hang up my shingle and become a coach.
Yep.
But they've never ran a business, never owned a business. They only know this much of the business process. So I get it. And now they're struggling, but they're doing so much damage to people.
Yeah. Oh, the industry we're in causes damage. I mean, I think that I just wanna own that right up, because that absolutely happens. Heather says, I think we were at the same presentation. I met Heather in Phoenix, so it's around. I know that y'all. So many of my people live around Phoenix.
Hey.
But yeah, so I mean, the one thing that I'm getting out of this already is it just, no matter where you're coming at this business thing from, it expecting it to be either fast or easy is and I don't even think people do that, but I do think that when people are suffering and they see the words fast and easy, they hop on things they shouldn't hop on.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I've been there. You've been there. We're products of our learning. We learned our lessons. Got the battle scars to prove it.
Yes.
There is, because you know what? It was easy for that individual who had that knowledge. So someone who comes out of Google, who worked for Google for a decade, doing Google ads, that's all they know is Google ads, analytics. That's in their shell. One day they get canned by Google.
Yeah.
Open up the shingle and said, okay, I'm going to do this. They write a document, how to do it, and sell the document. But you got to understand, they know Google Analytics.
Yeah.
You don't. So what they're telling you in that document are things that are going way over your head. And you don't have that technical, you don't have the programs, you don't have the keyword knowledge. That individual does, but that individual doesn't know how to run a business, accounting, or anything else. And they just sold you that program, that document, and they don't know anything outside of that.
Yeah.
So they don't know really how it affects your business. And if you even need it.
True.
You bought it.
It's true.
I mean, you and I have been in programs going, why did I get in it? It has nothing to do with what I do.
Yeah.
But I was sold something else. And yeah, we live and learn.
We do. We live and we learn. And for me, I lean on my community people. I lean on Steve. I lean on other people to say, hey, has this happened to you? Hey, there's been no other single factor that has been more important than having a community and having people to lean on and call up and go, hey, I think I might be in trouble here. What can I do? What are my options? I don't even know.
Oh yeah, I know. I've leaned on my community the same way. It's like, I know I've called you before. Hey, Someone said this is a good thing. I'm going to run it by you. And I remember you telling me, like, Steve, run
Yeah.
away.
Run away fast. I know it sounds good, but no.
I know you know that world. I don't. And I'm like, oh, I'm so happy I didn't go down that road.
What is the importance for you? What's the importance of you being a coach and having a coach?
Oh, God. How can I tell someone they need a coach if I don't have one? That's just. And I bump into people all the time. So they say, I'm a coach. Great. You have a coach. No. Well, no. Oh, my God.
Excellent.
I mean, Michael Jordan had over 20 coaches, and he was the greatest basketball player ever. So come on. My first step, I was that proud business owner, and my business was going good. All of a sudden, it just like flocked up. Just like if you hit the brakes, no anti-lock brakes. It was car coming up over the top. And I couldn't figure out why. So I tried doing what all business owners do. Work harder, grind it out harder, do more. Now I'm burning myself out. And everyone around me started noticing it. And nothing was working. And everyone kept saying, you need a coach. You need help. You need help. No. Proud business owner, big ego. I got this. No one's going to tell me how to run my business. And finally, I just couldn't do it anymore. I started looking through my network, started asking people, who do you know that does coaching on this? I got a whole bunch of people. I interviewed them, found one, brought them in. 45 days later, my life was changed. Not only my business, my life. And from that day forward, I've always had a coach. And I realized they see things in you that you can't see yourself.
Yeah.
We're not walking around with a mirror. We can't have our eye on a mirror on ourselves and try to walk forward at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's why the coach is looking at it from a different point of view, unemotionally. Mm-hmm. Hopefully not. You're paying them, yes, but they are not financially gaining from your business. Like they don't own a piece of it. That should never be a driving factor. They're going to drive it for their own interests usually. So avoid that one. But they're going to help you because they know if they're really in it for the heart. Like my passion is I'm tired of seeing business owners go out of business. It just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
If they're doing it in the right thing, they're really going to change your life, not just your business, but your life. And I say, I'm not only saving businesses, I'm saving marriages. And I've heard that story from business owners a lot. How many marriages I've saved because it's tied to their business, that's the way entrepreneurs are. Welcome.
Yeah. But it's absolutely right. I mean, no matter what, we are tied to people. No matter what we are. But the first thing that you hear about entrepreneurship, even way before you decide to start a business, maybe, is what we hear when we're kids. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps.
Oh, yeah.
It's you against the world. It's all of those hero stories where people did it by themselves. And that's usually a business story. I think that's BS. I'm going to call BS on all that.
It's pure BS. I mean, okay, let's take this guy, Jeff Bezos. You may have heard him.
Right.
So he needed $10,000 to start this new company called Amazon. Went to 47 banks, 10 grand. That's it, 10 grand. 47 banks showed him the door that he just walked in on. They wouldn't even let him sit down. 48th bank said, you know what? I'll give you the 10 grand. That's the reality. Did you also know his first 4 years? Here he is. He took the doors off the rooms, and he got milk crates, and those were the desks because he put all the money into the servers.
Right.
Because he knew that's where the key was, not decor and feeding himself. So he's eating ramen for years, trying to get this company up with a 10 grand loan that he owes with interest. Believe me, that's the reality. And everyone thinks it was like, oh, Google or, Amazon's an overnight success. It took him like 10 years to make it. And that's him grinding it out 10 straight years hard. So that's not an overnight success. Uber's not an overnight success. None of them.
No.
They had a lot of failures before they finally made it.
It's just that the success is that hook. That success is that The only way I see myself as a brand new business owner succeeding is doing something that works very quickly.
Yeah.
And it's sexy to hear these stories. And when the movie The Social Network came out, we all, I I had to go see it because I gotta know, that those stories aren't the real story. If there were any true overnight successes, they're probably weekend failures, because you don't know what to do with that kind of success.
I can't remember, years ago, there was that company who had the cute ads with a sock puppet for selling animal products, dog toys and everything. Flash in the pan, right? Got a lot of funding in. First company for all the founders. So they got a lot of VC money in and blew up this thing, did all marketing, advertising, but they couldn't deliver. And the business went away just as fast as it appeared. And the reason is they didn't know business. They didn't listen to anyone. They had their idea. They got their money because they were good talkers. And the business blew up and it went right into the ground.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's your overnight success.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I mean. There are some overnight successes out there, but most of the time they don't have staying power because they don't know what to do with those things they're not prepared to deal with the success that they have. I was just talking to a lady earlier today, and we were chatting about our businesses and how she is really starting to feel like every part of it that she built is now starting to really work together. And to me, that's a much truer story of how we build our businesses.
Absolutely. I mean, I went to a networking event last night. The guy was telling me about his business. He goes, well, this is my 8th shot. 7 failures. All I do is tweak the model and it keeps getting better and better every time. He goes, this one is hitting. Yep. And I go, how long did it take you to get to number 8 here? And he goes, 33 years.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're going to be an overnight success 33 years later. He goes, yep.
Yeah. And the point that you made at the beginning, that point is taken well. It's okay. It is best to hire people who have some expertise. They don't all charge $1 billion. No. They don't. And sometimes, the kind of thing that you need is a little bit right now and maybe more later on. I mean, there are all kinds of things out there. If you're new and you find an expert you groove with, hire that person. Don't wait. Don't think you can do it all by yourself, because in today's business world, maybe the guy opening the pickle store in 1883 could do it all on his own, okay? But times have changed. And it's no longer that kind of venture. Times have changed, and especially in the last couple of years.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, starting off, you got to learn your own business, but you got to be crystal clear on your business. And I talk to new entrepreneurs, business owners all the time, and it's like, great, who's your target market? What are their problems, and how are you solving them? And if they give me that funny look, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
You got to be clear on your own business before you reach out to say, hey, RJ, I need your help on all the bots and everything. If you're going to say, so who's your target market? And if I give you that and on and blah, 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 and don't give you a quick answer, you're going to be like,
I'm going to send you to a friend of mine who helps you work that stuff out. You
need work before you come back to me.
Yeah.
And that's the truth of it. And I still talk to business owners and they give me that blah. And I'm like, you're struggling, aren't you? And they're like, how do you know? You got to be clear in your own business before you bring on that first employee. Because I've had many businesses, and definitely ran a lot with hundreds and even over 1,000 employees. And they always said, who's your target market? Where are their problems? How do you solve them? They're asking me, and I am crystal clear. And I go, here's what we do here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, one line, that new hire, that new employee is going, oh God, I got to work for this guy.
Yeah.
Because I'm crystal clear on my market.
Yeah.
So that's how you're going to get the help too. If I went to a coach and go, I need help in my business, they're like what? I don't know. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Or they're going to be like, it's going to cost you 10 grand a month. They're thinking, ooh, I got a live one.
Yeah.
But a good coach will help you mentor. There's mentors, advisories. I've always had a mentor all throughout my whole life. And it's really helped. They see it from a different point of view than the coach.
Yeah.
They're the ones who will be more than happy to kick you on the front side. But they're doing it for your best interest, not for theirs.
Yeah.
A coach should be there for your best interest too. Your employees, it should be it's in for their best interest, but are you taking care of their best interest and their clients?
Oh man, this is the deep dirt, my friend. This is the stuff that we needed to know. This is the stuff when we needed to know when we were opening up.
Oh God, you know what I did when I was doing consulting, which I didn't know was called consulting at the time, and I was getting paid on the side from my regular job, and I'm thinking, hey, this is pretty good. I'll start a new business, and then I stopped and I talked to my mentor about it, who's owned, I think, 12 total businesses. He's a multi-millionaire, does okay in his businesses. And he's been retired for like 2 decades. Guy's super sharp. And so I go, I'm thinking about opening a business. He goes, who are you going to get to help you? First thing, not what business, not anything else. Who are you going to get to help you? And I'm like, I have no idea. He goes, you don't know where to start. Do you even have a name for it? I go, he goes, I'm going to give you 30 days to figure all that out. Come back to me. Then we'll talk. So what I do, I actually went to SCORE, division of the SBA, and got a mentor. I'm like, what do I do first? And they walked me through the steps. I'm like, oh my God, this really isn't that hard. But I didn't know it. And guess what? I went back to them 30 days later. I was crystal clear on who my market was, their problems, the solutions, had a name, had an LLC already, had the sales tax license, all that. And he's like, okay, now you can start a business.
Nice.
And I'm thinking, thank God he gave me that advice.
Yeah.
Because I would have gone that 1 month, I only spent, well, in our state, I spent total $50 to get the business started. Yeah. $50. And guess what? If I would have just jumped in it, it would have cost me thousands and thousands. So he just saved me by being clear on my message and everything else. He saved me, well, he saved my life.
Well, and that's
business owners jumping in. They don't even know where to start.
Yeah. Or sitting on the couch being too afraid to jump in.
Oh my God. Well, you and I see that in many groups that we are in. So I'm preparing. I'm getting ready to prepare to get ready.
Yes.
You've been working on your business for a year now, and you don't even have your name. I mean, after 7 businesses and running 3 hours, believe me, I think my last business to this business, I shut down my last business on a Friday afternoon. I turned in all the sales tax license, notified the state, done. By 2 hours later, Friday night, I had a new LLC up and running. And Monday morning, I started marketing. Not building websites, not worrying about a damn logo or any of that cuckoo stuff. Marketing, going after my target market to get sales first. Then I'll build all that stuff. And I know people are like, how are they going to find you? I go, there are free landing pages. That's a single page. That's enough.
It's enough.
It
isn't. Yeah.
You don't need to be a rocket science and just have this much tech knowledge. Can you, drag and drop? You're golden.
Yeah. Unless you're selling a tech product, then it's there's more, but mostly it's about knowing how to network yourself. There are plenty of free networking things out there. Knowing how to network yourself, finding your friends, finding your community, hiring the people you need, and then moving forward.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I noticed that something on my website one time. I'm like, what happened to all my legal disclaimers? And I thought, oh, wait, when on my old company, I had someone else doing it, right? New company, I didn't. So I went to my web developer. I'm like, who does all the legal disclaimers? They're like, well, we don't. I'm like, I know people on my network. And I reached out and found the right person. Guess what? Hooked me up. It was all legalized in, I think, maybe 24 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, but they knew that world. I didn't. And they're like, just do this and this. And here, I'll even send you a document on how to do it on your own. I just said, no, I'm going to give it right to my developer.
Yeah.
I don't do web development. Get away.
Yeah.
Okay. I love numbers, not coding.
No.
Coding. I'm hurt. I just gave myself an ulcer thinking about coding.
They made me do that in school. It was a mistake. I told them it was a mistake, but it was a mistake.
Look at you now.
Yeah, not something I do ever. Well, so Steve, it's complete. It's completely clear to me that you have not only enough pearls of wisdom to string on a string and wear around somebody's neck, but you have a whole pile of things to offer people. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, there's always bizcoachsteve.com. So it's BIZ, coachsteve.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on social media, primarily LinkedIn and Facebook, because that seems where my peeps are.
Yeah.
Talking about knowing what you know, one of my friends, social media expert. So they're like, you need to be on Instagram and Pinterest and TikTok and Clubhouse, and it just goes on and on. I'm like, my first question is, why?
Why?
They gave me all the reasons. I'm like, let's see, here's the mission of my business. How does that solve my mission? And they all looked at me like, oh, so then I shouldn't touch it. If it doesn't satisfy the mission of my business, I shouldn't touch it. And that's one way to get rid of shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
It's a simple litmus test. Will this grow my business? Yes or no? If it's yes, how specifically will it convert into revenue? And if you can't answer simple questions like that, then don't look at it.
No.
There'll be it's just not the right time now. Like, I have my own podcast too. And it's like, took me 2 years of being a guest on others, learning and educating myself. Then when I launched fast because it was crystal clear at that point. Yeah. But the first time I did a podcast, it was not crystal clear to me.
I resemble that remark. I absolutely do. And again, bizcoachsteve.com is Steve's website. Gosh, get in there, folks. Figure out what the real starting point is. Steve has mentioned so many things, stopping the shiny syndrome. The first thing you need to do when you're getting a business together. He's mentioned a lot of things that he did not read this in a pamphlet and decide, okay, I'm just going to repeat this to people. It is hard-won success, everybody.
I got the scars to prove it.
Oh, scars to prove it, baby. Absolutely.
I wish I had someone at the very beginning, holding my hand through it. I swear to God, my mentor got me kicked butt, but he's like, okay, now you got your business, go market. How do you do that? He goes, I don't know. I've always hired people. And I'm thinking, I can't afford it. So I got to learn it. Yeah. And it changes every day, it seems like.
It does.
Do this, don't do that. But if your message is clear, like you mentioned, having that network of people and getting out there. I mean, I went to an in-person event last night. I only go to this one like religiously every once a month in person because it's the quality of people in the room.
Yeah.
And the rule is you must give someone some kind of resource, help, guidance, something before you're allowed to leave. Not about passing it. Very rare you see. The only time you see business cards coming out is like very at the end of the night.
Right.
Very rare. It's like, whoa. People go, you have a business card, and you see them like, oh, because that's not that kind of an event. It's a relationship.
It's a relationship. Is actually absolutely. Well, everybody, please, Go to Steve. I go to Steve. I go to Steve. I need
You.
people like Steve. Yeah. We need each other in our corner. It's all about relationships,
Yeah.
community, and what we can build from there. And by the way, everybody, totally have a networking deal going on. End of the month, Power Networking. Jane Powers and I, we're gonna blow it up. We're gonna blow it up on Zoom. Hopefully, our Steve will be there because then it'll be a real good time. I know Heather's coming, so that's gonna be a great time. So come see us August 31st. It's 3 p.m. Central, and with that, we've about wrapped up our time. Any last pearls of wisdom?
I'm going to say the thing I tell people all the time that I had to learn the hardest way ever. Being a business owner is hard to ask for help, but ask for help.
Ask for help. It's time, people. It's time to ask for help. It's time to build it. Exactly. All right, everybody. Well, we'll have Steve back on again because he's too good to be true, but he's totally true. And we'll get him on here again. In the meantime, be safe out there. Don't get into anything that I wouldn't get into. And I will see you in a bot. Bye.
Bye.